Welcome back to the Daily Football Show, powered by Outside90.com. Mark Van Aken with you, Adrian Horton on the line. A bit of a left field guest on the show, Joffa Korf, best known as his role as the big man behind the goals for the Collingwood Footy Club in the AFL.
The gold jacket.
The gold jacket, of course. Hasn't come out as much in recent years, I might point out, Adrian, as it did earlier in the decade. But welcome along, Joffa.
A left field guest. Well, that's the first time I've ever heard of such an intro. I think that's amazing. I think that's fantastic.
I was going to say, are you happy with it?
Speaking, I'm on the left, so I like that a lot. Thank you.
Joffa, I thought you were plotting us there.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was about to wind up. But all good. So just to explain, we'll have a bit of a chat about the egg ball code, but what's lesser known to, I guess, all the punters out there, and of course, people in our northern states, to be honest, probably don't really know who you are, but I think you'd be very well known to people in the AFL states, Joffa. But you're obviously a massive football, as in soccer, man as well.
Oh, absolutely. I've always, for a long, long time now, I've really been interested. I think what caught my attention with soccer, if we can call it that, is that when I was very, very young, we used to get the replays a week after on a Saturday night in Melbourne, and I think that the singing and the atmosphere that came over the TV set during these games. I remember my ears pricked up and I thought, wow, this is amazing. And of course, since then, I've been to the other side of the world several times and witnessed firsthand, EPL. I've been to Celtic Park in Glasgow to watch Celtic. Just recently, just a few weeks ago, I went up to Anfield and Liverpool, and it's just a lot of fun. The atmosphere is electric, and the banter is. That's me. That's me, and sad to say in a lot of ways where we can't or we're not allowed to do that at an AFL game. But I don't subscribe to the theory that because you're an AFL lover that you have to be a hater of the other code. I think there's plenty of room for love for both sports, and that's where I stand.
Well, not at all, Joffa.
I think that's where everyone in this room stands, Joffa. This is the whole point. I had a blow up with Tom Elliott last week or the week before last, where Tom published a whole lot of crap, I've got to say, in the Herald Sun. No doubt to get a rise out of people like me, who are easy to get a rise out of, I must say. But the point is, I mean, sadly, I'll say it again, a 24-year Essendon member this year, and I turned 40 this year, so that's not a bad effort. Adrian Barracks for the D's.
Get out of it.
Dommy Favada's a Richmond man. So there's room to love, and I dare say most people love. In fact, you know what? There's a stat at the Money in Sport conference, which Lou Sticker ran, which I was at about 6 months ago, and they said most people in the world, sports fans, have 1.5 teams they follow, which obviously doesn't make sense. But they've got between 1 and 2. So they might be, say, if you live in Barcelona, you might be a Barcelona fan, and then you might be a big fan of the Spanish national team, which is not likely.
Yeah, look, I was disappointed because I've only been back from London for a week. I saw 8 games in the 3 weeks that I was over, 3.5 weeks that I was in the UK. So that was a pretty big effort. Look, guys, I was really disappointed to hear of the trouble they had here in the A-League at the derby between City and Victory. Now, I went to 8 EPL games. I think a couple of them might have been championship games. They were packed stadiums, and not one incident did I see that was worth talking about. So it's really disappointing as a lover of this sport to see people misbehave and bring this code down in this country. And you can see why the likes of other people, other journos, are just sitting back waiting for people to stuff up at these sporting venues with soccer, and they just come in. They come in and they give it to them, and it makes everybody look bad. Look, I've been a member of Melbourne City probably since Melbourne City's been around, probably a year after. Look, let me speak highly for a minute of the Melbourne City fans. I go to the active end, and it's just like one great big family. The people at the club behind the scenes are wonderful, wonderful people. We don't deserve this publicity, this horrible publicity that's brought on by a minority. It's going to kill the A-League, and the A-League have got to get on top of this before that happens, guys.
Yeah, I agree, Joffa. Speaking of Joffa Korf, sports fan extraordinaire. Just to finish my thought, to explain what I was on about there, in Australia, fans have on average 4.5 teams, meaning we have an AFL team, an NRL team, you might have an NBL team, or a Super Rugby team, or whatever it might be. So
Isn't that fascinating? Doesn't that prove the point that in Australia we are great sports lovers?
It is. Yeah, it does.
We can accommodate more than one team. And look, I think that's brilliant.
Oh, well, we love it. And like I said, we're huge AFL fans as well as A-League fans.
And rugby league and basketball.
And everything.
Oh, absolutely. And isn't it exciting now? We're 4 weeks away from the main season, and we can all jump into the same ring and say, we're going to have a great year. We're a chance of winning the premiership. Bring it on.
I can't say that, Joffa.
Give us your best shot. Well, for some of us. I don't know about Melbourne and
neither can you, mate. But anyway, leave that alone.
But you know, I mean, isn't living in Melbourne, especially Melbourne and Australia, isn't it great this time of year?
It's beautiful, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. But Joffa, I just wanted to touch on the AFL and this code battle that we've got going on. It's in the subconscious of some of the A-League and hardcore AFL minds, and it often gets spoken about over social media, and I really find it tiresome that they can't coexist. I think it really annoys me, Joffa. Even and I know you'd probably have discussions with your president down there at Collingwood, Eddie Maguire. Does it annoy you that he comes out with some of this negative rhetoric towards A-League?
Look, it annoys me yes, it does, because Ed's a great Celtic man. Ed's the Eddie family comes from Glasgow. They're Celtic supporters.
There we go.
Yeah, he's raised on football, Joff. That's why I don't understand why and he says he doesn't dislike it. But, he came out before the Asian Cup, said it was going to be a lemon, which it was far from it. It was a very successful tournament. Even last week, I don't know if you caught while you were overseas on his Hot Breakfast show, he was saying that he reckons the way the kids get the flares into the games is sticking them up their rectum, which was probably taking it a bit too far. And what I did like on the show was Mick Malloy saying, hey, these guys lighting flares at the games, how do we know they're not actually in distress? Which is a bit of a gag, making light of a dark situation. But anyway, I'll let you finish your thought there, mate.
Well, look, I just think that, I'm the same as you. I've known Eddie for a long time, and I think Eddie's a great bloke, and he's been terrific at Collingwood. But I think sometimes his comments about the A-League can sometimes be a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Like, he is a lover of the code because he's a Celtic man. I sometimes wonder where Ed's coming from when he makes those comments, and it doesn't do the A-League any good, and it doesn't. No. And it gives a bad impression on AFL fans because it gives us, look at the AFL supporters, they're bogans and they hate soccer because they're AFL. Let's start a war and us versus them, and that's not what Australians are about. There's plenty of room in Australia for soccer. Look, okay. Granted, the A-League isn't nowhere near the quality of the EPL. But don't forget, the A-League in Australia is only 10 years old.
Yeah.
And we're trying to build this competition up, and it's worked pretty well, getting marquee players from overseas. It's going to take a long, long time before we can get to the level of this sport overseas. But we're getting there. But it doesn't deserve the criticism that people put on the A-League. It does not deserve it, guys.
I tell you what, Joff, on that point with Eddie, and we'll move on from Eddie, it's not just an Eddie, but he has a saying, he says a lot, and no doubt you've heard him say it, in the game of life, never bet against self-interest. And I reckon that might answer the question you asked there. Adrian?
Okay, Joffa, I just wanted to actually speak about what you're doing at the moment yourself. I know you do a lot of work with the underprivileged, which is fantastic. And for those people that don't know, if you can explain what you're doing at the moment, that'd be great.
Right, well, what I'm doing at the moment is I work for the Salvation Army. I'm a welfare worker. I'm an ambassador for the Epilepsy Foundation. I'm an ambassador for Hepatitis Victoria. I'm an ambassador for Footies for All, who believe that every kid in Australia should have a football, regardless if it's an Aussie ball, a soccer ball, basketball, volleyball.
Cool.
At the moment, I'm on a refresher pack a refresher pack. We've got, my house smells like a chemist, guys. I've put out the word right throughout Victoria that we need refresher packs for the homeless people. Now, in each pack, we've got toothpaste, toothbrush, face wash, bottled water, soap and deodorant. And my place is flooded with this stuff, and we're nearly finishing this project. And right now, we've got somewhere near 1,000 bags of refresher packs.
Wow.
And that will go to the Salvation Army at 614 in Burke Street, and they will distribute each pack to the homeless people. So, yeah, look, my life's pretty busy away from football.
Sounds like it.
I think sometimes I'm unfairly tagged as an unemployed Collingwood bloke who's got nothing else to do with his life but wave handbags at Geelong supporters. Where in actual fact, my life is quite hectic, guys, and thank you for asking me what I do away from football.
No, of course. And do you know what, Mark? He's almost made me feel a bit glum. I'm not doing enough charitable work
or anything, mate.
Or anything benevolent. I feel like I've got to get out there and give back to the community. But
excellent.
I knew that I was aware that you were doing all of this, Joffa, and I thought it was important, obviously, to let the listeners know what you're doing, because I wanted to bring up that stupid stereotype that's probably a bit of baggage on your shoulders sometimes with certain fans.
Well, and that's annoying, but sometimes I feel as though I've got to deliberately go out there and remove that stereotype baggage.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel as though I should. I mean, I'm happy with who I am. You know, I'm at a stage in life where I'm completely happy with everything. But sometimes you sort of feel, gee whiz, people, give me a break. You know, I don't, you know, I'm more than this thing you see at the football, you know. But look, people are judgmental, and they see you or hearsay from somebody else and they form an opinion, and that's the way we operate and conduct ourselves. But you know, my life is busy, it's hectic, and I love being alive, guys, because you know what, guys? One morning we're not going to wake up. So get out there and do your best you can, not only for yourself, but for other people. And I think that's the secret in life.
Some sage advice there, Joffa. Korf, before we let you go, some of these initiatives you're talking about, how can people get involved? People like Adrian, you've turned him around. He wants to go out and do some charity work. How can we get in touch with you or one of the projects you're working on, or some of them?
Oh, well, just find me on Facebook. I'm always doing something. I'm always collecting fans for the elderly in summer, or this latest thing we're doing, this refresher pack, or clothes. We're going to start a great big clothes thing as we approach winter, warm blankets and clothes for the homeless. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, so just look me up and pop us a message.
And the Twitter handle, mate?
Just Joffa Korf, that's called Korf, yeah.
Korf, and for folks out there, so Joffa, Joffa, Korfe.
That's him, yes.
That's him, that's you, the thing.
The thing. Beautiful, Joffa. I'm going to take you up on that. Just a quick one to wrap up. Melbourne City have been absolutely scintillating this season. I actually think they're the best team to watch in the comp, but I don't think Mark Van Aken agrees with me. But where are they going to finish? How do you think it's going to pan out? I think they'll be there on the last day. Do you think they'll be there?
Right. Hey, I was talking to someone on their 4-goal second half on the weekend, guys, was brilliant.
Wonderful.
They were shocking in the first half, Melbourne City. Let's be very honest here. In fact, there was a group of us watching the game on the weekend, and I turned around and said to one of my mates here, this is the old Melbourne Heart. This is terrible. You know, when you see a bit of soccer, I think you can fairly judge the quality of football that you're watching. And it was terrible. Second half, completely reversed. This Van Chip, he must have lined all these guys up against the wall at half time and absolutely given it to them, because they were a different side in the second half. And what you just said, being there on the last day, look, I believe that, but I believe for that to happen, everything will have to go right for Melbourne City. And if that happens, they're a big chance. Don't worry. They're a very big chance.
Can you actually picture JVS getting angry, though? He's such a laid-back cat.
Oh, I think I think there's two personas to this man. I think out on the field there with his beautiful tan and his lovely Versace.
Where does he get this tan from? He's a Dutchman. I'm Dutch. I don't have that tan. And tanning beds are banned in this city. Tanning beds are banned, Joffa. Where does he get the tan from? Has he imported one under the radar?
It's called a solarium.
Yeah, but they're banned.
Oh, gee.
Oh, mate, there'll be a few dodgy ones. Come on.
I reckon he's just...
absolutely. Look, it's fantastic. But I think his other persona, I don't think I'd like to cross him. I think he would be... I think the same man, if he wasn't happy, would let it rip. And I think that's what he did on the weekend, guys. Because, look, they came out a different side. And they came out as the Melbourne City that we've known this year. And haven't they improved? It's just... Look, it's good for the sport to have two Melbourne sides up there, and you know, they'll fight it out in the finals again this year, and look, I think that's great.
Good stuff, Joffa Korf. Thanks for your time.
Oh, we haven't spoken about Collingwood.
Oh, no, that's right. No, he wants to. Okay, well, Mark did this on purpose, mate. He wanted to give you the wind up because he's a miserable.
Melbourne or Essendon? Which one is he?
I'm Essendon. Mark's.
No, you're Melbourne.
Sorry,
mate.
I'm Melbourne. Jeez, I'm Essendon. God. God forbid. I hate Essendon.
He's Melbourne, is he?
No, he's Essendon. I'm Melbourne.
See, there's a conspiracy.
Yes.
See the way they operate?
Oh, mate, I understand this. I know it all too well.
We've got a great operation down there.
What about the Pies, Joffa? They had that 5-game losing streak last year that absolutely it killed them. It killed them.
And guys, add up the losing margin of those 5 games, and it's even more disappointing. Look, I think Collingwood are going to have a big year. I don't think they're going to be on anybody's radar. I think they've got a brilliant young list of players. I think players we recruited last year and the year before you're going to hear more about this year. I think we are well coached. I think Buckley's a magnificent coach. And I think that, look, it's going to be tough. We've got a hard one first up in Sydney. I know that. It's going to be tough. But, guys, I think the Pies have finished in the top 5.
Ooh, Mark's shaking his head.
Now, when's Eddie going to give your boy...
What did he disagree with about that?
Mate, if Bucks... Where's his new contract, mate? What's going on? Why won't Ed give him a new contract?
Don't worry about that, guys. Guys...
There's trouble down there.
Look, I know everybody loves to talk Collingwood. They analyse Collingwood. Every little thing becomes a big thing. Don't worry about Bucks' contract or re-signing or what's going to happen there. Focus... guys, on this year and what's going to happen with Collingwood, and that will be they'll finish top 5.
Mark's got to just worry about Essendon keeping their players clean, Joffa.
Mate, I don't think, and seriously, let's talk serious here. I can't see Essendon winning a game this year.
Wow.
And look, listen to me. I think it's sad what's happened to Essendon. I think the players, look, it's sad. Everyone in control of that club in governance at the time has walked away scot-free. And the players have been punished, and I think it's horrible. I think it's gone on too long. I don't think it's a very good rep for the AFL, and I am sorry for the Essendon supporter because they are a great supporter, and I reckon they've been kicked in the guts, and it's been horrible. So, Essendon supporters, just sit out the year, do whatever you want to do. Come back next year and it's all over. We'll all forget about it and we'll get on with football the way it should be.
Well said.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Joffa. I just want to know where my $1,015 for my Highmark membership, how that's going to serve me this year. Because I agree with you, mate. I reckon we'll snare a win here and there, but not more than 1 or 2. But as long as one of those wins is on April 25. Joffa, thanks for your time, mate.
You got that in, didn't you?
I did, mate. Now turn his microphone off, Dom. See you, mate. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Oh, there you go, Joffa.
Oh, that was brilliant.
The big football man.
Yeah, mate, fantastic. All the work he's doing for charity.
No, look, I've got to say, I was a bit dubious about Joffa coming on when you mentioned him this morning.
No, he's a good man.
He's turned me around. He's a good man and a great advertisement. So people out there who are listening go, why'd you get him on? Just to prove he is, again, if you're not an Aussie Rules follower, you don't know who he is. But if you do, he is the well, he says the thing. He calls himself the thing.
Yeah.
But he is known out and out as the face of Collingwood, besides Eddie Maguire, more so than the players. And he's so identifiable. And for someone like that to be standing up and saying, hey, we can all stand side by side in this country, I think that is a sentiment that is well and truly belonging on this particular program.